There it is, just waiting for something to break. The Mini Cooper R53, first generation of the newer Coopers. This is a Cooper S, 2006 model. I'm going to talk about what is the true cost of owning these cars. These are amazing cars. This is my second one. Check out my other videos if you like. I've done a bunch of them on this particular car and a few years ago on my first Mini Cooper S, which was a 2003 model. But if you mention Mini Cooper to most people, and really this covers all generations, there's two immediate things they're probably going to say to you. The first thing they're going to say is, wow, that is a cool little unique car that handles like a go-kart and really does handle like a go-kart. We say that about a lot of cars, but this one really does. Nothing looks like it. It's quick, fun, crazy neat, very stylish, and super rare, I would say. More and more, especially the older ones. But the second thing people are going to say is that these are unreliable. Why would you ever own one? That's why there aren't many older ones on the road. And is that true or is it a myth? Well, I am here in this video to tell you the truth after owning two of these, and I'm just going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, it is true. Now, many people will defend these cars and say things like, if you keep them and you maintain them and you take care of them, they will last. They are bulletproof. Mine's never broken, blah, 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 blah. But guys, come on. Popular opinion means something. It really does. Data is proven. And if you look around, you don't see many of these older ones on the road anymore. And the reason is to fix them costs a lot more than they even cost to purchase. So you've got a few left, especially these older supercharged ones, still poking around the streets and costing their owners money. And so I'm just going to spend a little bit of time real quick and show you the actual money that was spent on this car. Now, as you can tell, this car is in pristine condition. It's a 3-owner car, 20 years later. It only has 116,000 miles. And I'm just going to walk you through some data here that I've printed out and kind of give you my conclusion. So this data here, this shows what has been spent on this car since 2019. The first owner had it from 2016 till about, 2006 till about 2018, 19. The second owner got it and owned it from 19 to about 24. And then I picked it up in 2024. And so this is the record of what I have of what has had to be done to this car since 2019. Now, very important, I don't even have a record of what has broken before that. So we're only talking about the last 6 years of this car's life. But not going to read through all this, but just to give you some highlights, anything in a yellow highlighted column is maintenance. That's something we would say is normal wear and tear. Things like flushing the coolant, plugs and wires, fuel filter, a battery, a bulb here and there, the supercharger needs service, things like that. Anything not in the highlight is something that broke and needed to be repaired. So when it comes to this particular car, as you can see, there's a lot of things in both columns. And things like the clutch died at 93,000 miles, way too early. The heater core, a lot of suspension bushings, CV axles broke. Kind of normal wear and tear, not really a maintenance item. That's something that just does break. Valve cover gasket, oil leaks, motor mounts, radio knob broke. And then all this stuff here at the bottom is just things I've done to repair all the oil leaks that this car had. It had like 5 when I bought it. And again, this car was well loved, maintained, and garaged. So kind of the bottom line of all of that, of what I've just shared with you, this car since from 2019 to 2025 has cost about $7,000 in parts alone, and another $3,000 or so in labor. Now, I did a lot of this labor myself of the things I've done. And lucky for me, the previous owner of this car did most of this work. But this is about $7,000 in parts, and it's about $3,000, $4,000 in labor. And again, that's only from 2019 to 2025. So that's a lot of money to spend in 6 years, $10,000 on a car. Now, just by way of comparison, I owned a Honda Odyssey minivan. I bought it in 2006, brand new. It had 0,000 miles. I drove it for 13 years, and I drove it all the way up to 150,000 miles. In that time, I spent about $3,000 parts and labor on all maintenance and all repairs. That includes the timing belt, that includes brakes, that includes a couple broken CV axles and 1 or 2 air conditioner parts. And that was all that broke ever. $3,000 parts and labor for a 2006 Honda Odyssey, and it drove 150,000 miles, 55,000 miles. In comparison, a Mini Cooper that is also a 2006 that only drove from 93 to 116,000 miles, that's 23,000 miles, cost $10,000 in parts and labor. So just again, to sum up, this car drove 155,000 miles, the Honda Odyssey, and cost $3,000 in that time. The Mini Cooper drove 23,000 miles and cost $10,000, over triple. So, very, very telling, isn't it? The Honda Odyssey drove way more miles and cost a little. The Cooper has only driven in a very short amount of miles, 23,000, and cost over $10,000 in parts and labor. What's the bottom line? Well, I started this video with a funny statement, and it's just a true statement, and that is, there it is, waiting for something to break. Now, let me close this video and say, having said all that and shown you the actual receipts and money spent on this car, why in the world then, if a Honda or Toyota or other car is so much more reliable, so much more cost effective to own? I mean, the data I just showed you, $10,000 over the last few years, that comes out to about $1,400 a year just in repairs and maintenance per year. Why would you ever want to own this car if that's the case? Well, here I am in my second one. I bought one, it was a piece of junk years ago, fixed it, sold it, loved it, loved it, loved it. I've driven a whole ton of different cars. And in the back of my mind, as I've said in many of my videos since I bought this car a few months ago, over those years, I always said to myself, if I can find another R53 that's in good shape, I'm getting it. I don't care. I don't care if it leaks oil. I don't care if it rattles. I don't care if it costs money to maintain and things keep breaking. Why? Why would anyone do this to themselves? Well, if you own one of these, you know the answer to that. You only live once, and sometimes you just have to break the rules and have a little bit of fun. And this car, among the 45 or 50 that I've owned, many of them very nice sports cars, very unique niche cars, very odd, rare weirdos, this is the one that I just keep coming back to, that is more fun, more enjoyable, and offers more feedback and smiles per gallon than I would say anything I've driven, anything. And that is limited to affordable cars. There's no Porsches or anything in there, but we're talking everyman cars. And you know, the crazy thing is, one of these in good shape costs $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 if you get one in good shape with good miles. And as you saw, it cost far more than that in the last few years just to keep it maintained. But I will say, as I end this, it is just worth it. The car is so much fun, and I will end with a second gear pull down this back road and share with you why it's worth it. And here we go. And my fun was interrupted by road work, but such is the case of life. Hey, thanks for watching. Leave your comments on the Cooper S. True cost to own. What really breaks? Is it worth it? Why would anyone suffer through this car? It's totally worth it. Thanks for watching. Peace to you. God bless you.